What's up, friends? On the way to Long Beach, California. I've got Sam here with me. He has kindly agreed to take me to the airport. So flying from Detroit to Long Beach for UPCI General Conference. I've been the production manager for UPCI General Conference for a couple years, but I just have never captured extensive content. You guys have been asking me to capture more. So I know I can vlog now while I'm here in the car before I get there, but the question is, can I create content, capture content while I'm on site? That's the real danger. I may have to do it just on my phone, so we'll see what happens. But basically, if you have attended UPCI General Conference in the past, or you're familiar with the event, I'm pretty much just in charge of whatever's happening in the auditorium room. So, you know, convention center, you know, the booths and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of the other planning is actually Tiffany Countaway. She's over all of that, but I am over all of the production in the sanctuary room. So all contracting, all audio, you know, visual media, helping design and figure out what screens and, you know, seating and where do cameras go. We have vendors that, you know, work different departments. So our department heads this week, Vito DiGiovanni is audio, Shannon Chance is video, and then I have Ryan Johns is really my right hand, and working kind of the backstage, all the people there. And then our AVL provider is Streamline Production. So I'll try to give you a tour. We actually have a production truck this week. So, you know, years ago we used to just be backstage, but it's kind of difficult because it's loud. It's difficult to communicate back there. So we actually moved towards a production truck, and so I made that switch, and that's been great. This will be our second year in the truck. So I'll show you guys that setup and also give you an idea of, you know, what it all takes to put on an event of this size, because you know, I think right now registration is around 13,000. We actually have seating for 12,000, I believe. So we'll have 13,000 registered, or we usually, whatever we have, the number registered, our peak service might be 1,000 to 2,000, 3,000 under that. So if we have 13,000 registered, you know, typically we'll have 2,000 under that number. So it'll be a maxed out house for sure. So we've even done some things to accommodate the anticipation of having a, you know, full auditorium. So this is a free event. There's no registration. So that's the other thing that kind of makes the registration, I would say, a little bit lower commitment. So if you pay for the registration, you know, anecdotally, I would say that you are more committed to actually fulfill that. Whereas if it's free and you decide not to come, so that's what makes it a little bit difficult as well to track the registration. But I think because this event has continued to grow and it is maxed out, there is kind of the sense of like, get here early if you want a seat. So which is exciting. But yeah, it's gonna be a great week. And so again, today's Friday. I'm coming in a little early because tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to be finishing up all of our call sheets. So we use a Google Sheet as a production schedule. So that way all the vendors, everything from audio, video, you know, lighting, and, you know, backstage, as well as our AV provider. And then also, you know, the UPCI side, for instance, UPCI music, you know, coordinating all of the rehearsals on their side. We have a rehearsal room. So I'm building kind of a master Google Sheet. I've kind of made that adjustment the past couple of years too. We have one Google Sheet that kind of rules all of the schedule. And so kind of I'm gonna solidify that tomorrow on Saturday, and then load in begins Sunday. Another unique thing this year, normally we take possession of the convention center or facility on Saturday. This year we take possession on Sunday. So we have one less day to load in and do rehearsals. So basically Sunday is going to be a load in day. Monday is going to be a audio tuning, finalize load in, finalize staging, and then rehearsal day as much as we can cram in the day. And then Tuesday will be full into programming for our services and everything. So another unique aspect of it is working with the house, which is the entity you're renting from. So some you know, houses have different rules. If it's a union house, then you have to have things like shadows. So if I have a camera op, I have to either use their camera op, or I have to have a shadow camera op there shadowing our person one-to-one, or they can be sitting in the back, but they have to be on site being paid. Other houses are not union houses, but they do have rules. For instance, you may have to have a steward on campus, which is basically the person that, if you need, you know, architectural lighting change, those things can be done. So this is this house has been pretty good to work with as far as their you know, requirements, but it still kind of rules our day. Like we have to shut down by 8 p.m. unless we want to go into, you know, penalties, overages, that kind of thing. So it's really juggling all of those scheduling elements. For me, it is you know, overseeing the big picture, making sure every department has what they need, they're working together, it's in budget. But then also what's unique about General Conference is normally you're working with one entity that's, you know, quote unquote putting on the show or having, you know, our service. For us, it's not a show, right? It's worship services, but you know, usually work with one department. Well, we have every night is a different department. So it's the Global Missions Department of the UPC, the North American Missions Department of the UPC, Church Administration, Children's Ministry, Youth, you know, Business Sessions. So each one of these has a separate hierarchy of their workflow and their communication. So another big aspect of my job is communicating with each one of these departments, making sure they know, you know, hey, the screens are laid out like this, these are the dimensions, you know, and then getting their service schedules. We use Planning Center, so them putting their service schedules in on Planning Center, and then I take it from Planning Center and create a call sheet in Google Sheets for our crew, so I can, like, you know, call numbers, right? So hey, we're going to queue number 2, and that has a line across, and I'll show you guys that, where, you know, everybody knows what's about to happen. You know, audio knows, you know, video knows what's going on the screens, what's lighting doing. So I'm working on that call sheet. And for the past couple years, I've called the services. Ideally, I'm not the one calling the service, but again, because there's so much communication with the departments that happens, I have not, you know, really delegated that to someone yet. But I'll probably looking to do that in the future, where someone else is calling the service. That way I'm a little more freed up, because right now I'm a little tied to the call, which again is not, in a perfect world, that's not what I want to be doing, but that's just an area of growth for us that I'm trying to build good systems in. So anyways, that's kind of a brain dump of some of the things that's happening. So yeah, I'm excited, gonna get on these flights, get in about 9 o'clock tonight, and that way I have all day tomorrow to lock in all the logistics, finish up some of the communications that have to happen, and then Monday morning or Sunday morning we get rolling. So follow along. That's the baggage claim. Outdoor baggage claim. That would not fly in Detroit. Alright, so it's Saturday afternoon. It's about 1:30, and I just came out of the hotel, and I know what you're going to say. I'm meeting at P.F. Chang's. I'm in California meeting at P.F. Chang's. I know, but just listen. Here's the rationale. Number one, it's right next to the hotel, and I can sit down and I can go back to work. Number two, the rest of the week is either going to be too slammed to do so, or I'm going to be eating super late and catering. So if I'm going to do the taco spots, that's going to be like late at night, later in the week. So I know, don't make fun of me, but I'm eating a quick lunch at P.F. Chang's. So today, not really a whole lot to update you guys on, so it'll be just real short. Just finishing logistics. So again, it's really 4 entities coming together to set up church like in a day and make it happen. So it is the house. So that's, the convention center this year. So they, there's a lot of things that only they can do, right? They're going to do unloading and loading. There's a lot of things that they have to touch, that they're in charge of. If it's a union, it's even more so, which I already spoke about, but it's the house, it's our AV provider, Streamline. It is our departments, right? So audio, video, that kind of thing. And then finally, it's you know, the UPCI entities themselves, right? So that is the different departments of the organization that for the different services. So it's all 4 of those coming together. So today is really just logistics. I'm kind of finalizing some of the load-in stuff, communicating with you know, our department heads, and then the you know, AV provider to make sure that all of our time frames are correct in the morning, because we load in Sunday and then Monday, and then everything starts Tuesday. So yeah, and then also just emailing people back. There's a lot of people that have emailed me questions that didn't have a full scope of the answers to till we get closer to the event. So I'm just going through all my communication. So kind of a quote-unquote boring day, but it's really good because the rest of the week is going to be super late nights, little sleep, lots of communication, you know, obviously just run and gun. So I'll kind of take a slow-paced day to day to kind of get everything squared away, and then it's off to the races tomorrow. So probably won't update you guys again today unless something else comes up, but otherwise we'll see y'all in the morning when we start loading. All right, it is Sunday morning. It's right after 8 a.m. I am a little bit, not late over to load in, but we start 6 a.m. is when like the loaders and rigging came, and then 8 a.m. is when we're starting. But I wanted to see my daughter. She was kicking off our service this morning in Detroit, so saw her open up service, and I'm heading over to check in on loading. It's gonna be kind of a little bit of hanging out, so we'll see. All right, here we are. So I'm here at the center, checked in with our AV guy, and then trying to communicate with all of our people. So one unique thing about this center is they have a pretty limited loading space. So they only have a couple of loading docks. So we actually have to kind of get trucks in and out in a sequence versus just everyone coming in and loading in. So our AV trucks are unloading now, and then we're going to get Vito's truck unloaded and a couple of things. So I got a time lapse going. Hopefully get some of the rigging, and then rigging is happening now. So these are all the stuff that's on the ground. So these are like the rigging points, chains, motors, and then that's about to get a lift up in here, and that's all going to go up. So I'm just kind of up in the bleachers for now, just hanging out. Not a whole lot to do until we get a little further down the road from me. But they started at 6 a.m. because this actually is like a drop ceiling grid here at the convention center. So they've got this pretty neat drop ceiling, which is cool for aesthetic, but it's not load bearing. So for us, we actually have to rig almost through that and around this. So it actually takes rigging longer to get stuff in the air because of this kind of drop ceiling thing. So we added a couple of hours on the rigging call. So but it should be good. So that's their drop ceiling, and then we're actually rigging above it. This is rigging points, motors, rigging. It's going up there. It's like 12:30, and more of the rigging is going up. Most of the points are done, and Brian and I are going to go get in the truck. All right, so that's the loading dock there. So Sanctuary is inside there. So this is actually where we are at. We are inside the production truck. So all the switching, everything's going to happen in here. I'm going to be at front of house, probably calling the services, but the rest of the brains of the operation, aside from audio, is all in the production truck. So let's go check it out. and a chance.
There he is.
Video
Hello.
captain.
Video captain. Welcome to me ship.
Of the soccer team right here.
Y'all know who this is. Ryan Johns.
There we are.
The actual brains behind the operation. Everything I take credit for, it's actually Ryan.
Dude, for
I just want to say that publicly. It's Ryan.
Nah.
We're going to probably maybe do a walkthrough of what all this is after it's set up, but this is the inside of the production truck. Alright, it's about 9:30 and Vito and his crew are going. So the challenge is this, I said this is a fake ceiling, so they have to really rig around it. So if you can see that, all those lines are above that to rig all this stuff. So they're starting the stage decks now, and it's just taking a little longer, but we'll make up the time tomorrow. All right, about to check out for the night, and things are looking good.
Perfectly. So those have got it, but
I don't have data yet, but it's 14. Well, let me look at the clock. In about 2 minutes, you should have at least what you
I gotta fix that, Dylan. It ain't done yet.
How'd you know the receiver
I mean,
farther back?
FX6.
Six.
Six.
Yeah.
These are our.
Zoom in on
Roamers?
his cables and then zoom in on my cables.
yeah.
Okay.
A lot different.
Oh yeah.
Look at you guys go. These are 2 roamers. This year we're doing 2 roamers.
So that's it though, right? We don't have to add anything else?
No, this is it.
12 cameras total.
Here's, I think, these are like
Yeah.
similar. They're the exact same setup. One of our roamers will be here, and then one of the other roamers will be on the stage. But he's like locked on the stage.
Alright guys, it's Monday, 12:30. I'm in the truck. So we are finishing up rigging. Audio's going in. Band is rehearsing in the rehearsal room. All the LEDs pretty much rigged at this point. Carpets on the stage. So next thing is sticking instruments on the stage. Gonna get the room tuned, and then band's gonna come down around 5 p.m. and check. So challenge is always getting the band and singers enough time to work, because Tuesday night is first service. So today being Monday, it's like getting their ears done, checked, and figured out, and then tomorrow morning, try to give them some time to actually rehearse on main stage. Basically getting band and singers time on main stage for them to rehearse is the challenge of the day. But everything's going good. Feeling good so far, and working through all of our call sheets, which is basically taking things out of Planning Center online and making that line by line. With us having 11 outputs on video, it's locking in what is exactly going on each screen for each call number. So when I say number 1, we go with that.
thank you, man.
So this is backstage again. Although that's not ideal, we're going to let people sit all the way back here, so they're going to be behind stage, but still have some kind of screen. All right, we're getting close. All right, I'm about to cut for lunch, but we got all of our LED in the air. We've got stuff going on the screens. Band is in the rehearsal room, so it's about 12:45 right now, and so the rest of the day, biggest thing next is audio's got to tune the room, and we got to get instruments on stage, and then tonight we have a hard cut at 8 p.m. so we're going to try to get band on stage doing line checks and maybe even some rehearsal. That way we'll be ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow's just going to be crazy. Running through, we have so many different screens running, so it's hard to see now. They just pulled some stuff, but we've got the upstage LED, which has a wall on the side. We have this horseshoe that has the front and the side. We've got IMAGs, we've got banners, So we got lots of options to work with. So everything's looking great so far. And again, I'm not overly stressed out right now or extremely exhausted. So 2 wins. But yeah, it's going good. And we're just gonna keep trucking. This is a booth for our Spanish translation. So kind of off stage. So that's main stage in there. Back around the ring of this, there's like these kind of maze of different rooms. So for instance, I'm gonna walk through this little hallway and this little seating area here, restroom, and then we're doing catering in here in room 1, and then we're actually gonna eat our meals here in room 2. So again, there's stage right there, and then come back into this little hallway here. It's just a kind of small hallway that runs around, and then here we are backstage, storage, LED cases and stuff. So that's kind of a layout. All right, it's Tuesday, about 1:20. Sorry, I've been running crazy today. So we've done some rehearsals this morning, and now they're working on lighting for the business session, which is basically just no design in white. They just did color balancing. So they have like the color card up here on stage, camera zoomed in on it, and then he's done the white balancing on all of the front fills, stage wash lights. And so at lunch right now, and then we're gonna walk through tonight's lighting, and then 4 to 5 is service walkthrough, 5 to 5:30 is like a tech run through, and then we open doors at 6. So everything's looking good. Getting close.
That's me asking. You don't have to do it. Can you array those things over the top to kind of span out like this?
Hi, my name is Daniel Bernard, and I serve as the General Conference Production Coordinator. So before General Conference, my job is to solidify all the contractors and vendors that are going to be helping with General Conference. And then during General Conference, I'm calling the services. So over here, I've got a call sheet that has everything that's going to happen in the service, and I have a comm system so I communicate with video, audio, make sure that we got speakers loading. So if you see me back here yelling, that's what's going on. And over here, I've got my comm system, and I've got a monitor where I can view everything that's happening both in service and online. And so I'm here to produce the services.
Jesus said in Matthew 21:22.
En Mateo 21:22.
Whatever things you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive.
Todo lo que piden oración creyendo lo recibirán.
That's an opportunity.
Okay, so we've shown you the production truck. Now we're going to talk about front of house. So I have the producer's table where I'm calling the service from. Over here is our lighting desk where our lighting director. And then we have Audio World here, which I'm going to let Vito give you an explanation of what's happening.
Hey guys, I'm Vito DiGiovanni. I'm the audio lead for General Conference, and this is our front of house area where we mix the sound for the room, and this mix also hits the broadcast, so all the online sound that you hear. I have a couple of guys that help us here, and Ben helps me with all the cues and helps us make sure we're on task at every moment, we don't miss stuff. And Caleb is monitoring our broadcast feed, making sure that our overall levels are hitting broadcast quality, and this is how we manage it all.
Okay, so we talked about front of house, and now we're gonna look at Monitor World here with Mark.
Hey guys, so I'm the monitor engineer for this event. What that means is that I mix everybody that's on stage. So all the vocalists, all the band members, all their in-ear monitors, also all the wedges on stage for the choir, for the speakers, any of the techs that are side stage, I'm mixing all of them. So very complicated task, there's a lot of mixes, but we have fun.
About that, but it's far more difficult to deal with a bitter brother than it is the biggest of bullies.
Okay, so I want to give you a little more insight into the production. So we have our production truck, all the media and everything is not actually in the center. It's out here in the truck, so let's go check it out. Okay, I'm here with Ryan Johns. He's the creative producer this week. So all the magic you see happening flows through Ryan. So Ryan, can you kind of give us a tour of the truck?
Sure, come on. Let's go check out over here with video. So we have two things over here. We have our video. So this is our technical director. She's actually pushing the buttons, sending things to our screens online and in the house. And then over here, we've got our director. He's actually calling the shots, picking camera angles, making sure that what you see in the building is actually represented really well on the internet. And then over here we have our media. So we've got graphics over here. We'll do basically scriptures and lyrics. She's also feeding all the lyrics on the platform to all the singers, helping them. Here we're monitoring our social media, online presence, making sure that's up and running, doing a great job here. And then right here is our lower third department. We're sending to let you know who is up there speaking and different things online like text to give. So that's that. Then over here, this is where all the craziness happens. And this is what we call our Resolume and E2 operators. And they are making sure all this content goes where it needs to be in the room. So they've got an incredible task of putting this all together. So this year we have 12 screens and 10 of them are being used for content and then 2 of them are being used for IMAG or video, live video. So behind the curtain, there's a lot of gear and hyperdeck recorders and different things that are recording and capturing so we have a good archive for the future. So that's in a nutshell what's happening in this broadcast truck.
All right, last service is over, sorry. I'm trying to grab content of what I got. Load out is going. Pretty amazing how fast this all comes down, but we're out. All right, that's a wrap for General Conference 2024. Got a little bit of content I'll upload, but it's pretty amazing how fast everything comes down. Incredible service every single night. And talk about the team that helped, but Ryan Johns, Vito DiGiovanni, Shannon Chance, their teams, Tiffany Countaway, Streamline. Those are the real MVPs that made this week happen. So I'm really thankful just to work with everybody. It's a great week. Thank you everyone for the kind words and people that came up to me and said things. It's awesome, but really thankful. Great service tonight. And yeah, we got a couple hours here, loading out. Be back in the morning to make sure we're clear and headed home.